This NASCAR Atlanta 2024 betting recap edition of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up today using promo code SGPN and then go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/dog to enter our bonus contest. 5 winners will receive shirts, hats, and a $50 SGPN gift card. We're also brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting research platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit hofbets.com and use code SGPN to get 50% off of your first month and start making smarter bets today.
Driver, start your engine!
Strap in and pull those belts up tight as the Sports Gambling Podcast Network presents the NASCAR Gambling Podcast.
I'll wreck my mom to win a championship. I'll wreck your mom to win a championship.
With all the news and the best bets for your NASCAR weekend.
It refrains me from not beating the out of you right now because you asked me stupid questions. But since I'm on probation, I suppose that's improper to say as well. If you could talk about racing things, we could talk about racing things.
Now, here are your hosts, Rod Villagomez and Cody Zeeb.
Boy, I wish that there was something exciting to talk about that happened over the weekend that the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network could just cover and talk about, because, Cody, I don't know about you, but I basically slept through the entire weekend of racing. I don't know what happened. And
well, I mean,
sure.
You watched Saturday. It was so fucking boring. Why even turn it on Sunday, right? I mean, what was the point? It was just going to be shit anyways. I mean, when's the last time you lost a bet by 0.007 seconds? I mean, what? Gosh, NASCAR, what a boy! Just making left turns. What a boring sport this is, huh?
Yeah, if anything, I want every single person out there that ever says to themselves that NASCAR is boring to watch I don't even care if you watch the whole race. You should watch the whole race, but watch the last
lap. God,
15 seconds of that race, because yeah. Oh my God, what an Atlanta weekend! 2 great races and 1 snooze fest. But man, let me tell you, I was entertained from start to finish, Cody. And I mean, look, we already talked about it when we talk about putting the bets in, right? To expect to lose every single bet that you put in, because it is still a super speedway race. But I've never had so much fun watching all those tickets go up in flames.
Oh yeah, that's why super speedways are so much fun. Again, the real betting season begins right now, today. Okay, tomorrow, but we're here now, right? The real betting on NASCAR season is here. We had our fun. We're gonna get out the memory pen in a minute and wipe it all away. Start with a fresh slate. It was a good weekend. It was a fun weekend. We did hit some bets. I mean, Michael McDowell is still on the pole 30-1. That's not a bad hit, right? Start the weekend and hit a few other things, close on a couple things. The chat is hopping already. Ooh, love to see everybody in here blowing up. Old fashioned football checking in with the eye emojis. Dos Flacos, cheers, boys. Season starts this week. That is right. DJ in the chat. I think DJ
has Joey Logano's glove. That's what he's waving with, Joey Logano's glove.
That is Joey Logano's glove. I think DJ's the one that's been killing everyone in DFS too. Matt Jones, what's up, boys? Stephen Williams is disappointed we haven't switch out the sound bites.
I know. I'm sorry.
We got.
I'll get there.
But Dos Flacos in the chat. Will in the chat. Look at this guy's got a great name. Cody, what a great name. Love to see it. Best race he's ever seen a person. It's also my girlfriend's third race, and she loved it. How could you not love it? After oh boy, there goes my camera's acting up again, Rock.
Cody's glitching because of how exciting it was all season long, or at least all weekend long. But this is, of course, if you're brand new to this show, and maybe the last couple of weekends have been your first couple of weekends of actually following the show. We do a recap every Monday. I know somebody on, I think it was Thursday or Friday, asked us if we keep track of our bets on any sort of betting site. No, because we want you to come here on Monday. We don't want to just show you the tally sheet. We don't want to show you the score sheet, because that never really fully gives you the story of how these bets play out. Because, a straight tally of wins and losses, that goes about as good as any other win-loss column, right? There's nuance to every single win. There's nuance to every single loss. And we want to go over the process with you. That way, as we go on through the weeks, you start making better decisions yourself. We start making better decisions.
It's mostly, honestly, Rod, it's mostly for us. So we can reflect on what we did right or wrong. And that's old-fashioned football. Thought I was possessed for a second. You never know. This is the hottest day ever recorded in Nebraska in February today.
What?
So yeah, who knows what the hell is going on here. Cody did cash big on Underdog, hit everyone using our picks. We did have a great week, and I mean, it was the perfect strategy, right? You pick one or two guys you like to go higher than everyone else, you just go lower than, and it worked out. Josh's first time checking in on a live show. Let's get it. What's up, Josh? Thanks for checking in. Sportsbook's tapping into my cameras to make sure he logs those RFK bets without us. Yeah, it's big. Big. What do they always call it? Big betting is coming after us. But
was it corporate gambling?
Corporate gambling. That's what it is.
I love it. No, listen, for honest, and this is probably, you're going to hear the talk all week long of how this was the best race. You've seen drivers come out and say it, that this was the best race that they've participated in a very long time. So, I mean, again, all the excitement is done. We'll go and we'll recap our bets. And honestly too, we're going to get ready for Las Vegas, but I'm almost sad to put this into the rear view, because I really honestly feel like if racing was this exciting all season long, then I think more fans would tune into NASCAR. But don't repave all the tracks. Don't do that.
Breaking news, Rod. Odds are out for Las Vegas. Oh, yes.
Let's go.
Look, has Kyle Larson at 4-1, and then William Byron at 8-1. So if you ever wondered how good Kyle Larson is, there you go.
Welcome back to normal odds, everybody. I want to go back to Cody's Underdog thing. We actually, to me, I looked across the board and I was like, holy cow, we hit every single one. I don't know that we've ever done that before. We'll probably never, ever do it again, but Underdog really doing good for us and doing good for everybody else out there this weekend.
I'm saving all my Underdog money and just going to put it all in on the super speedway weeks and just go with the fate of everyone.
Right.
That's the easier way to do it.
It is the easier way to do it. Okay. So anyways, like I said, so if you're new, this is our recap show. We're going to go over all the bets that we made for the weekend. We'll talk about the race as we go through it as well. Because that's the way we do it on here. And we start with the trucks, and we'll start with the trucks. But let's do this first, because I want to tell you all about Underdog Fantasy. We talked about Underdog Fantasy just a second ago. We hit every single one of our Underdog picks. Never have done that as a show. And again, I think it was a great strategy that we played and employed. So hopefully you got in on that as well, because all season long, they've got the opportunities for you to play alongside of your favorite fantasy players, not just in NASCAR, but of course in basketball, in all of the sports that are going on right now. And of course, football is going on too. It's the easiest place to play fantasy sports. Also the fastest growing fantasy app in the industry. All you got to do, pick a few players. I mean, we gave you 6 and all 6 of them hit. So if it didn't matter which combination of it that you ended up playing, you played them all and they all definitely hit for you. You won some spicy entries. You could pick 2 to 5 players. Like I said, there's those spicy plays, which elevates your winning experience. Telling you right now, guys, Underdog treated us well this weekend. Last weekend, it's going to treat us well again this weekend. So much fun. Get in on that. Sign up today with promo code SGPN. Get your first deposit doubled up to $100, as well as an instant pick'em special. Plus, you got an opportunity to get in on our special prize as well. So get in on that too. Visit UnderdogFantasy.com. Find them in the App Store. And don't forget to register with our promo code RACE SGPN to get your first deposit doubled up to $100, as well as an instant pick'em special. Got to be 18 and present in the state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit www.ncpggambling.org. SGPN is also teaming up with Underdog to give you even more of a bonus. sign up between now and the end of the month, and 5 winners are going to receive an Underdog hat, Underdog shirt, and $50 SGPN gift card. Sign up today using promo code RACE-SGPN, and then go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/dog to enter the contest for your chance to win. Can't wait to make some Underdog picks for the Las Vegas race, but let's first, Cody, go back over what happened on Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon, depending on where you're at, with the truck race, the first of 3, obviously, on the Atlanta Motor Super Speedway, the Freight 208, Cody. I don't ever want to bet on trucks again. I'm just going to say that right now.
Well, I'm not going to say that because I love to bet on trucks, but
Nope.
You got to keep in mind, Rod, super speedways.
Nope.
I know Phoenix was okay, so we've had three wins in a row. But to be completely honest with you, I was a little bit busy on Saturday. I was over at my mom's cleaning some stuff out, so I had the race on. I was listening mostly, watching a little bit, and I really don't feel like I missed that much. Just like this wasn't super speedway racing. It was just a lot of kind of follow the leader, like King said here. It was a lot of follow the leader. It was there was chaos, but it was weird chaos. I don't know. I really don't know what to take. I mean, there might not really be anything to take away from this type of race, and we just move on to Las Vegas and treat it like a fresh slate, because I don't really know what. I mean, Kyle Busch wins, but like, again, this is one of those scenarios where I don't really regret not betting on him. It's not like he dominated the day. He didn't lead a ton of laps. He put himself in the right position at the end, and then everyone was too scared to try. Hey, there's 3 of us here. 3 against 1 on Kyle Busch. We'll just follow him. The second, third, fourth sounds great to us. Okay. What are we doing? Make a move, Ty Majeski. You got 2 teammates behind. I mean, come on, fellas. It was heartbreaking.
Yeah, well, okay, yeah. Kyle Busch ends up winning. He leads 33 laps. Tyler Ankrum, 46 laps, was the lap leader overall, and then Grant Enfinger out front for 23 laps. And like you said, this was a weird jockeying of pit strategies and
was
leader.
Was there any wrecks? Like, there was no big wrecks in this race, was there?
So the only real cautions was the 22 spun. That was a single truck spin. Yeah. And then there was one that collected 4 trucks, the 13, the 38, the 43, and the 46.
There's the big one for you.
Yeah, that was the big one. And then another one collected the 32 and the 91 in the front stretch. So, I mean, and then there was 3 debris cautions. So literally there was no
one was for a roof of a truck.
That's hilarious too.
Oh my goodness. And then this race just had a little bit of everything. The roof of the truck flies off. So NASCAR has told the team not to touch the truck, take it back to North Carolina. They're going to look at it, see what the deal is there. The 38 truck gets disqualified again, like they did last year, for not having the proper hood braces on the car. Oh, just a shit show the Truck Series has been lately.
It is. All right, fine. Let's go our way through the race here as we go through our bets, because that's all we can do at this point.
Yeah, I had Timmy Hill top 5, 18-1, top Toyota 16-1. Look, this was you needed something to happen for either of these to cash. I mean, you needed some chaos. You didn't get any chaos, so almost no chance. I mean, he finishes 18th, which isn't bad for him and that truck and that team, right? But I mean, yeah, you're just not going to get anywhere close to this without any calamity. So, I mean, these bets just didn't have a chance. I'm going to continue to bet Timmy Hill on super speedways because it's paid off for me plenty of times before. But it's hard to cap this type of race. Like, how would we have known to expect this, especially when you see Sunday too, and you see it was a true super speed. I mean, the Cup guys, for as much as they raced 4 wide, like, we'll get into it, but it's just crazy. I don't know. So missed on Timmy Hill.
I had Caden Honeycutt as my first bet as a top 5 truck. Cody, I would like you to tell me where Caden Honeycutt ended up finishing the race, please.
I feel like this has happened to us a lot these first 2 weeks. You had him top 5. He finished in 6th.
Yes, he finished in 6th. 1 truck out. I am furious. I told you it didn't matter where he started, that he would be in the front at the end of the race. I said that truck was too fast last week with Johnny Sauter to discount Caden Honeycutt. He started 25th, Caden Honeycutt did, all the way to 6th. It did not get a top 10. And honestly, if it weren't for anybody, I mean, all anybody had to do in the front was leave Kyle Busch behind, pull out of his draft, and then he drops like a rock to 6th or 7th by the last lap.
That is so possible. If the 4 of those guys make the move, or there was 3 of them, right? 3 of them behind Kyle. If they make the move, if they make the move together, Kyle, if he's not able to grab their draft as they're going by, he might fall. I mean, that other pack was a little bit farther back, but yeah, this was a great call by you. Obviously, the ticket doesn't cash, but again, the thought was correct. If we get a little more carnage, you might cash. The same with mine. Brett Holmes, also 650. I mean, he ends up 11th, so he was mixing it up throughout the day. He was up there. If there's one wreck that takes out 5 or 6 cars, boom, he's right there in the mix with a chance. And we didn't get that late caution that kind of bunched things back up. That's why it got spread out at the end there. So again, it's just a lot of this was trying to prep for the chaos, and we didn't get the chaos, and that hurts these ones. So again, a 6th and 11th for 2 guys that are plus 650 to be in the top 5. We weren't that far off on hitting some really nice bets here, which has been the story of the first couple of weeks, which again, if you're newer to the NASCAR betting or any of this stuff, just keep in mind, right? It really starts this week. These races are just so much chaos, so unpredictable. I mean, nobody, not a person, thought this race would go this way. I can guarantee that, because it shouldn't have. And so just impossible to kind of handicap how this went.
Yeah, Jack Woods too ended up not helping out Holmes's day as well, which by the way, sorry out there, Justin, your Jack Wood is looking good, man. Jack Wood was actually around the front, and
I didn't realize that's a McAnally Hilgeman truck. I didn't even realize that's what he was in. So there's a cup guy in that truck this week in Zane Smith. So
all right, and then I had Tyler Ankrum as a top 5 car at plus 350. Tyler Ankrum.
We led what, 46 laps?
Led, what did I say? 30? Yeah. No, 23. No, 46 laps. Tyler Ankrum.
He was the leader on the day for laps led. Does not get the top 3 for you, but he was not far out. 7th again, right there. Like, we had the guys in the mix. We just needed a little bit more to happen. So, I mean, that's how close we were on these. I had Ben Rhodes to win his group, top 3, plus 340. Ben Rhodes did Ben Rhodes things. This guy just finds trouble. So for being a multi-time champion and a guy, he's about to be Joey Logano to me, where I just don't touch him because I can't figure out when he's going to be good, when he's not. He looked fast again, but then he had, I don't remember what the deal was. He had to go back on pit road for, I think he brushed the wall, had a flat tire, maybe. I don't even remember. But
no, he did. He had a tire cut down and he had to go.
Yeah, it was like, I mean, he was kind of in the mix throughout the day. Because where was he? He was 5th in stage 1. He wasn't top 10 in stage 2, but I don't know. I felt like he was kind of up there, but not as good as I had kind of hoped.
Yeah. Well then, not as good as I hoped is Nick Sanchez. He finished 5th. I needed him to finish 3rd. I know.
How fucking close can we get on all these bets? Like, you're only 2 off for a guy that's plus 340. Like,
It is frustrating. It's so very frustrating. And look, I mean, Nick Sanchez was all around, and he circled, and he wasn't ever a leader, but he was always in that pack. He was always around that pack. And then he wasn't. So yeah, I don't even know what to say about that. And again, man, all you had to do was leave Kyle Busch behind. All you had to do was leave Kyle Busch behind, and you could have done this, but I digress.
Yeah, Sanchez very impressive through the first 2 races. Doesn't mean anything for the entire rest of the season. Just keep that in mind. Bailey Curry, he got the memo incorrectly. Thought NASCAR was bringing back the convertible series. I don't know if you know, Rod, there was a convertible series at one point. Apparently, you're not allowed to race that way anymore. He lost his top, and NASCAR was not a fan. So he does not cash the top 5 at plus 450. But, I mean, he was kind of mixing it up throughout the day. I think. I feel like he was up in there. I mean, he was top 10 in stage 1. It was actually top 10 in both stages. So he's at least hanging around throughout the day. If we don't end up with a bunch of chaos, if he's top 10, I mean, he's not that far out of the top 5. Obviously, it's going to be interesting to see what NASCAR determines. So I know they want to look at it. It seems like a lot of the thought is a piece of debris came off of a car hit it just right and snapped it off, which was it not on there secure enough that, I mean, it shouldn't come off that easily, should it? So who knows what the deal was there. But yeah, again, this one, I don't think it was bad. Hard to know because obviously his top gets ripped off and NASCAR sends him to the garage, which they probably should have done with someone else who we'll get to in a minute that didn't have any brakes. Anyways.
Yeah, no, for sure. Well, that one touched my heart too. But
but why are we letting guys race with no brakes? Come on.
Yeah. Well, I am now in the I don't like Ty Majeski camp, and I'm just kidding, Ty. I love you. I'll have a beer with you later. But
plug your ears, those Flackos.
Yeah, Majeski freaking ruined it. Ford over Toyota. I had Toyota over Ford.
Imagine if those two Toyotas right behind him would have pulled out of line and tried something, Rod.
All I'm saying, Hyman and Taylor Gray just riding safely behind Ty
My
Majeski.
two guys too. Gosh, what are they doing?
Whatever. So they cost us our Toyota over Ford tickets. So don't look at those Flaccos. Like, no, Rod. Look, I get it, and I'll go for Ty Majeski anywhere else, I suppose. But he just pissed me off this side because nobody made any moves on that last lap to get around Kyle Busch. They just wanted to let the Cup guy win, and it ruined our tickets. So in so many ways,
yeah, irritating. I had Spencer Boyd truck lift again. I didn't get the memo that this was not a super speedway race. I would not place this on a non-super speedway race. You needed calamity for this to happen, and none of it happened. I mean, he was okay. He ends up in, where do you end up, 22nd, which is not a bad day for that truck. I mean, that's probably better than they'll do at Vegas this week. But again, you got to have some crashes for this stuff to happen. And how do we go to a super speedway and there's not big crashes? I mean, I can't think of a time we've had a race at a super speedway that didn't have a big one. When is the last time we had a race at a super speedway that didn't have a big one? There was like 6 big ones in the Cup race. And the trucks, of all people, who have big ones on short tracks.
I was going to say, I
have a big one. I don't know.
Daytona last week, we had freaking Tanner Gray.
The record for caution flags.
Yeah. Whatever. Let's just breeze through the rest of these. I had the winning truck number over 50. That didn't happen. I had Christian Eckes to win. We'll go over that in a second. I had Rajah Caruth to win. Hey, Caruth, I'm telling you, started 12th, finished 8th. Keep an eye on that guy. You don't need to keep an eye on him because super speedways have no implications for the rest of the season. For Eckes, he didn't have any brakes, right? He was fast as hell, but you got to have brakes at some point. I don't know how NASCAR let him run as long as they did. But obviously he goes to the garage eventually. What's funny is they've got it down here. They've got it down here as brakes on what I just want them to write no brakes on this.
Yeah, it wasn't the brakes. It was the lack of brakes. That was the issue. I had Corey Heim 8-1. I mean, look, he ends up in 3rd and he's there at the end. If Majeski, Heim, and Gray pull out, and I think the reason Majeski didn't pull out is he was afraid the 2 guys would leave him, which what a horrible mistake, because why would you not pull out and at least try? Because if it doesn't work, guess what? You're not going to win. But if you don't try it, guess what? You have no chance at winning. So, didn't make any sense to me. Heim was at least there, had a chance to win. Rhodes 12-1. Like we said, he sucked. And Holmes 65-1. Again, he was 11th. Not bad, but you needed chaos for something like that to hit. So, I don't know. Just a frustrating race. Unfortunately, we're not done talking about frustrating races. Do we need to make a pit stop before we talk about the Xfinity Series?
We got to make a pit stop.
Maybe actually put some gas in our cars, Rod.
I'm going to put 3 seconds of gas in our car, and when we come back, we are going to breeze through stage 2 of this, which is covering this rat bastard of a race called Xfinity. We'll be right back. Let's talk about Hall of Fame bets. Win bigger by betting smarter this NBA season with Hall of Fame bets, the sports betting analytics platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Research every NBA and soccer bet with historical stats and data. Enter any parlay idea into Hall of Fame bets, a revolutionary parlay optimizer tool to get hit rates broken down by leg, as well as an expected probability for the entire parlay. Sort all players by hit rate for any bet to learn which players are hot and which picks have value. Stop betting in the dark. Join over 30,000 users researching with Hall of Fame bets to craft more intelligent, data-driven parlays. Download the Hall of Fame bets app or visit hofbets.com and use code SGPN to get 50% off of your first month today. Start researching, start winning with Hall of Fame bets. Okay, let's do this thing where we talk about how dumb the Xfinity race is. But I do want to say, switch in the chat, Austin Hill is inevitable. That, my friend, is not a lie.
So Rod, let's just get to it, right? Austin Hill wins the race. Rod hits him plus 320. Great hit for you. If you had the ticket, I'm happy for you. It's still a stupid fucking bet. You can't bet somebody plus 320 on a super speedway. Roddy was nowhere close. He should have finished 20th. Everybody ran out of gas but Austin Hill, and he fucking wins the race. How does this shit happen? You can't even make it up. He wasn't even that, like, he shouldn't have won this race. And he does it anyways.
Let me just tell you, Cody. Let me just tell you. We say this each and every super speedway. We say it. Anything can and will happen. I know that it was a dumb bet, but I also told you that this is not a race where you want to take that chance. You should put something on Austin Hill because who knows what in the world is going to happen. And Cody, I did not have everybody running out of gas on my bingo card. I did not have that, but it happened. And I said it was going to happen.
Austin Hill is the inverse Kyle Larson. Just Larson finds his way to wreck at the end of all these, and Hill just happens to accidentally win all of them. What the again?
This race, good point too. The only driver not to be ashamed is the Xfinity Jesse Love. Ran out of gas, but that's on his team. Telling him to trust his gut. Absolutely. We'll talk about him in a second, but yeah.
All
right. So
everybody ran out of gas on this one.
But I want to talk about how that even came to be. All right. I don't know who or what the spotters did not drink or drank the night before, because they were either too hungover to start making calls, or they were too not hungover and didn't drink enough to be ballsy enough in this race, because there was so much safe play and it was ridiculous.
One driver did not finish this race, had a steering problem. Nobody wrecked out of this one either. That's what I'm like. That's what's just so unbelievable about this. We had two races on the same day, and there was no big crashes. And again, how do you prepare for this? I have no idea. Now, that one guy that didn't finish the race was Jordan Anderson, who I had for a top 5. It's plus 600, and his steering gave out, so he did not cash.
Yeah, and as soon as that happened, I was like, "Well, that sucks." That was one
race. At least
race.
we got that one out of the way early, because I think that was fairly early in the race. And
that was way early in the race.
And then it was like, okay, well, not going to cash that one, so that's good.
Nope. And you know what's frustrating too is that when you have this handicapped and it just gacks out on you literally a few laps into the race, you're just like, well, oh well. And so that's where we were at there. All right, then my first bet too was one that was, God bless him, man.
Rod, if I would have told you would be betting on these two drivers against each other at the beginning of the year, and it would be the battle of 28th and 32nd, you'd have kicked me off the show.
Well, not just them. No, because remember, we try to get people to watch up and down.
Well, I know, but not with these two drivers.
Not with these two drivers. And not just that, but if you would have told me that I was going to be taking the other side of this one and still losing, then I would have probably told you to get off the show. I had Allgaier, I had Nemechek, but I had Nemechek over Allgaier. This was actually looking okay at parts, and then it wasn't, because Allgaier decided he wanted to figure out how to actually run around this track for the longest time. But then I think he was one of the ones that ran out of gas too, because John Hunter finished in 32nd, like you said, and Justin Allgaier finished in 28th. But I'm saying right now it was frustrating. I should have just trusted my gut. Justin, I'm sorry. I will never go against you in JRM again. I just won't. It won't happen. Sorry. I learned my lesson.
Yeah, I don't like, how do we even, I mean, literally 3/4 of the field ran out of gas at the end of this. How were we so far off? And it was like 3 laps to go that people were running out. I get trying to push it to the end. All the Fords running out at the same time was just so bizarre. Everything about this race was just
Cody, that'd be like if this show, like if we were on minutes and we ran out of minutes before the end of the show. Like, we know how many minutes left we have in the show. Like, why?
No, I'm pretty sure if there was a limit of minutes, we would run out of minutes, Rod.
Well, easily.
We go, whatever.
Every single time. I don't know. That's the whole guesswork thing. They're like, 3 seconds of fuel. That'll definitely get us done. Like, imagine us doing that on the freeway, just guessing. Like, 3 seconds of fuel. Let's go.
I will say this next set of bets was actually a really good bet for me. Top Toyota took Jeff Earnhardt 12-1. Ends up in 8th place. A solid run by Jeff. Now he's the third Toyota, so it doesn't cash, but also gave out Chandler Smith plus 290. This one did cash. He ends up in 2nd place. Again, how deserving was he of 2nd place? Because literally everybody ran out of fuel. it doesn't matter, Rod, because he finished there. So we're gonna take what we can get and roll with it.
Yeah. Well, I had Jesse Love as a top 5 car. Didn't even have to win this race, man. But the dude was solid. 157 laps this guy led. 100. Now we talked about it on the Cup Series when we're talking DFS that you're probably going to want somebody that leads a fair share of laps, but not 157 out of 163 laps. That is utterly insane on a super speedway.
It's crazy. I mean, the Cup guys have never even done that on this configuration. It's only been 5 races, yes, but nobody's come that. I mean, we've had some guys that led some laps, but my God, again, it was follow the leader, and it was, I don't know. I mean, Jesse Love
157 of 163. I said 147. I meant 157 out of. So he only didn't lead 5 laps.
And I mean, the reason he didn't win the race is because he ran out of gas. Otherwise, they were just going to follow him to the end. I don't know. And another guy who had a chance to win the race, Riley Herbst, he was right there. He was top 5. I think he might have even been second when he ran out, but top 5 plus 290. And he runs out of fuel with 3 laps to go, whatever it was. And just, man, again, just so fucking frustrating. God.
I had Sam Mayer as a top 5 car. We're moving on. I had Sam Mayer as a top 5 car.
Because that Cup race was so good, I want to talk about it. So briefly.
I know, me too. Sam Mayer is a top 5 car. If we
guess what, he probably ran out of gas
at the end. Yeah, I was going to say, if we ended this at the end of stage 1, then we would have cashed this bet. He does end up finishing in 11th place after starting 6th. So frustrating. Keep going.
Yeah, Jeff Earnhardt. I mean, I had him top 5, 14-1, big number. Ends up in 8th. He really only ends up there because everybody ran out of fuel, but that's what you were looking for, was everybody to have a problem and him be there, and he was. Just doesn't cash, unfortunately.
I had Ryan Truex as a top 3 car. This was so close because Truex ended both stages in 4th place, and I was like, come on, Ryan. Well, guess what? At the end of the race, Ryan finished in a nice, tidy 9th place. That is nowhere near the top 3, so screw that.
Yeah, I had Ryan Sieg car lift. Sieg looked okay, not as good as he had been previously on the super speedways, but he was the culprit of the last caution. Did not he didn't get back to the pit road with the running out of gas there when all the Fords. It was like synchronized diving, like they synchronized all running out of fuel at the same time. It's like, oh, Herbst is out, oh, Custer's out, oh, Sieg's out, oh, Deegan's out. Like every Ford in the field just at the same time pulls up. So whatever, interesting. But anyways,
it was so very frustrating. I mean, honestly, it's funny too how that all sort of happened, because it was just like falling rocks. They were just like, and back, and back, and back, and back. And then you're just like, well, that pretty much is how this is going to go. And you watch everybody just kind of dive to the back. I had Parker Retzlaff winning his group over all of his teammates over Williams, Jeb, and SVG. Cody, who ruined this bet? Hold on. First of all, Parker Retzlaff finishes in 5th place. 5th place after starting 24th.
I know giving all praise to SV Jesus there for a second.
Exactly. So this is the one guy that ruins this bet. He finishes better than Jeb. Jeb actually, obviously had his trouble. He finishes better than Williams. Williams didn't even finish this race, but SVG blows this for us.
SVG blows it. You should have cashed this one. It was a good bet. Hey, shout out to SVG for not running out of fuel. So I guess he's just great. So that's
ADK,
good.
Man, he sucks.
I had Herbst to win the race. This was not a bad bet. He was right there in the mix. Could have had a chance. 16-1. Jones 30-1. He ends up 14th. I think maybe he ran out of gas. I don't know. And Anderson 80-1. Obviously, he broke early, so that one was in the trash. But again, the Xfinity Series, honestly, is one of my. It's probably my favorite series to watch the racing, and it's usually really good. It's a lot of fun to bet on. Just a really bad week. Same with the Truck Series. You can go over your winners, and then we'll put a bow on this and move the fuck on.
I had AJ Allmendinger as one of my longer shots, 950. Allmendinger had charted himself out to the front, led 8 laps in this race, so a fast car. Unfortunately, he ends up finishing right behind the guy that led the most laps in 13th place. So that was a bummer. And then, of course, I told you, don't care what happens, you still got to put something on Austin Hill to win this race, because death taxes on Austin Hill finding a way to win a super speedway, especially in Atlanta.
I mean, you got back-to-back races on the same day, and the chalkiest of chalk. Kyle Busch and Austin Hill win.
Script writers
By the
are
way,
lazy
I
today.
don't know if you've noticed this. We've had 6 races now this season, and Team Chevy, 6 for 6. They've won all 6 races.
Kicking everyone's
They're
ass
killing
right.
people. Yeah. So,
It's not even funny.
anyways, Xfinity will be a lot more fun next week, so don't give up on it.
No.
Vegas should actually be.
I did have Truex, by the way. Sorry.
Yeah, you did have Truex,
18-1.
which wasn't. I mean, he was up in the mix, like you said, top 4 in both stages and had a chance. So,
Not bad.
but Xfinity is going to be really exciting going to Vegas this week. There's some really good drivers in the field. We've got new people and new rides. We're interesting to see how that shakes out. Really interested to see what the odds look like, and it's going to be a fun race to bet on, and should really be a really good race. So we're going to put Atlanta in the rearview mirror. Luckily, we had the Cup race to save us, and we can talk about that next.
Such a fantastic race. It was. So when you think about racing in general, right? When you think about cars trying to race each other, you want people to be fighting for positions. You don't want to see, like you saw on Saturday, just follow the leader, everybody riding around, saving gas, 3/4 of the throttle. No, you want people at full throttle. You want people trying to get around each other. You want people making moves, trying to fit in holes that don't exist. I love that phrase. That's going to be a brand new phrase all over the place. Trying to fit in that hole that doesn't exist. But you want all that. And boy, did this deliver. I don't know. And we've been watching this now intently, analytically for the last 3 seasons. And I don't know that I can remember a time when we had this from green flag to checker flag. There were, just to give you a hint, okay, this race took 3 hours, 28 minutes, and 11 seconds. The average speed was 115 miles an hour. There were 10 cautions for 65 laps and 260. Of course, the margin of victory, 0.003. There were, Cody, 48 lead changes in the entirety of this race, and there was 6,536 green flag passes, averaging about 33.5.
Yeah, set the record for the lead changes, right? There was 46 actual lead changes. Just, man, what an amazing race. Really, from the drop of the green flag, you've heard nothing but good things from the drivers. They all loved how it raced. Kyle Larson said he had fun, which, again, Kyle Larson on super speedways, now he ends up wrecked like he always does. We'll get into that in a second. But I mean, he even had fun out there, so that means something. But it was great racing. They were going 4 wide at Atlanta. Rod, we talked about on the podcast last week, we weren't going to see a lot of 3 wide racing because it was tough to fit 3 wide. Fuck, they said, fuck that. We're going 4 wide. They were running laps at a time 4 wide. Super exciting. I mean, just some of the saves we saw and some of the racing was really, really good. We got the big crashes like we expected. Everything went back to how it should have been on Sunday. The world was righted. And just, what great racing from start to finish. Daniel Suarez gets it done. He gets the victory. His first oval win, his second career win.
Breaks the pinata.
He breaks the pinata, which is a great celebration always. He doesn't lock up a playoff spot, despite what NASCAR interns and Denny Hamlin will tell you. Denny Hamlin said on his podcast he locked up a playoff spot. Not the case. We could still get too many winners and he could not. But likely, he is going to be in the playoffs now, and so that upsets everyone's brackets because nobody had him in there. We talked about him being on the hot seat. How does this change things? I mean, huge, huge, huge win for Daniel Suarez, for Team Trackhouse. And it just, man, I mean, I think it was Derek that said on Twitter, like, really, this could not have gone any better, right? The Netflix show comes out, it's top 10, you get all these people. Daytona wasn't great, and we got the delayed thing, but it was a good race. People were excited. Then they tune in. They get this race from green to checkers. Amazing race. One of the closest finishes in NASCAR history. 3 wide, side by side. I mean, 0.007 seconds from first to third place. They didn't wreck it. They did it cleanly. Absolutely amazing. It was just a great, great, amazing race. Saved the whole weekend, and it was a lot of fun to watch.
My all-time favorite tweet from this weekend of racing was the person that spliced together the last quarter lap of cars with the quarter lap of this and had the cars commentary going, and then Mike Joy kind of kicking in when it came time for that finish, because it was literally, I mean, Daniel Suarez's car's tongue was sticking out, and that was what got him the win. It was just a fantastic race from start to finish. And, honestly, when you were watching this racing, I think what you said too earlier, it was clean. This was all so very clean. There was so many. I mean, there was
we got the wrecks, right? But it wasn't. I mean, like there were so many times where we did get the. I mean, they didn't wreck when they were 4 wide. You got the 3 wide finish at the end. They didn't. How that didn't end up in just a 40 car pile up on the start finish line is insane. I mean, those 3 guys, they didn't even bounce off each other. They didn't lean on each other. They just drag raced it out to the end. It was the perfect race. It was great. And I don't get that again in Atlanta because that's how are you going to top that, right? But it's going to be interesting to see as time continues to change this track and make things different here, how it kind of evolves over the years. But this was just an amazing race. It was a lot of fun. What more can you ask for from super speedways?
I love that that Blaney was like, man, I just picked the lane and held on. Like there was nothing I could do at that point, but
and he's like, I picked the safest one on the bottom. Obviously he's had a few hard hits here lately. So get to the bottom of the track, buddy. Erica checking in, top 10 for Ty. Yeah, that was, he was one of our DFS guys we gave out. Myron he was tasting that Todd Gilliland 50-1 till the end. Gilliland looked impressive, but Rod, I saw someone make a post about, front row just looking so great. They're going to be a contender this season. I don't know what the word contender means to this person or to you, Rod. But I would like to remind everyone, and I've got something else to add to this when we get to the end of the show, but this was super speedway racing, and it means absolutely fucking nothing for the rest of the season for everyone except for Daniel Suarez. And we'll touch on that again here in a few. But it just don't overthink things from what you saw these last 2 weeks, because it has zero reflection on anything that happens starting this week at Las Vegas.
But see, I want to know though what the disconnect, well, not disconnect, but really what kind of prompted this particular race on Sunday, because again, all the things that we saw was pointing to a really lackadaisical Sunday drive.
You know what it was, Rod? There was 37 NASCAR Cup drivers in their hauler watching the races on Saturday saying the same thing we were saying. They said, fuck that. Go out here and race.
Well, then good. I'm glad they did it, because I guarantee right now that was, again, we've said it and we'll ever continue to say it. This will be one of the ones that as we're watching NASCAR 100, right, they're going to go back to this race and they're going to show us footage of this finish because it is historic. I mean, it was the third closest finish. Really, I would say second, because the first one was tied at .002.
Yeah, I mean, the Darlington finish, as far as like epic finishes too, it's definitely top 5 of all time. I did, you had posted this in the Discord from Jeff Gluck, but an actual quote from Todd Gilliland during the race, and they played it on the broadcast after that. It's like going to a haunted house, it's fun. Okay, I start talking about haunted houses. My camera starts freaking out again.
Uh-oh.
That's a lot of fun. Hopefully, can you still hear me at least?
I can still hear you. Go ahead.
That's good. But yeah, he said it's like going to a haunted house, it's fun, but I'm scared for my life at the same time, which I thought really summed it up pretty well.
Yeah, that's how all of us were watching that race. It was fun, but we were all scared for our lives at the same time. Well, the lives of our bets anyways. But speaking of the lives of our bets, Cody, we should probably break down the card, and obviously we'll just continue to glow about this race as we do it, because there are so many damn close bets on this one for me. I'm so pissed off.
Yeah, I lost my spot now. But yeah, there was, some things that are just things, and you got to do them, and they paid off well. And again, we were close on a few things that just didn't quite hit. So, Rod, catching a lot of heat. There's a lot of people, all this hate for Kyle Larson, and Kyle Larson's going to win on super speedways, and this is the place he gets it done. And Kyle Larson, he's just, he's so good at super speedways, and why do you got to keep hating on him? And Rod, there's just one thing you got to keep going. He finished 11th last week at Daytona. It was so impressive. It's like just you should probably got a trophy for it. God, this camera is driving me nuts. I should never fucked with it. But anyways, boy.
That's all right. It's just
we're gonna
because
go cameraless for
everybody
that.
hates your Kyle Larson takes.
Yeah, look, corporate gambling doesn't want me to talk to you about this because it cashes
Nope.
every fucking time.
They
Anyways, there's one commandment when we come to super speedways, Rod. Fade Kyle Larson. I don't just say this to be a dick. I don't say it to pick on people. I don't say it to blow hot air. I say it because it's fucking profitable almost every time. And it worked. It happened. It worked again. Kyle Larson looks great all fucking race. And then he gets caught up in a wreck. Not Corey LaJoie's fault, by the way. But he cannot avoid it. I don't know how he does it, but it's like Austin Hill just finding his way to the front. Kyle Larson finds his way to the back. So William Byron over Kyle Larson. William Byron over Kyle Larson. And Byron ends up in 17th. Not the greatest day, but of course Larson ends up 32nd after he was unable to continue. So Byron cashes. Bubba Wallace over Kyle Larson, plus 105. Bubba Wallace right there affecting the finish at the end. Top 5. He's the points leader, by the way. I think. No, maybe he's not. He's not the points leader, but he's up there in the points because he's had 2 good finishes. And Ryan Blaney over Kyle Larson. He's in the 3-wide finish at the end, Rod. Cashes 3 for 3. I believe Ty Tiger, if you're in the chat still, I think he ended up with 9 head-to-heads. I think he cashed 7 of them, Rod. It's just like, you've got to keep playing it. I don't care if he gets in 11th place every once in a while and beats you. Like, he's just not good at these super speedways. He's now I got to update the stat again. What is it? 1 for 43 now on super speedways. It's getting a top 5. Like, it just, he does not get it done. You've got to keep fading him. They let Daytona blind them with a decent finish, gave us all the head-to-heads we wanted, and we absolutely hammered it out of the park going against him. His underdog pick, whatever it was not low enough. It's absolutely amazing how this continues to work time and time again.
And I think a lot of people, especially the new folks that really hadn't listened to a couple of seasons worth of us, basically just saying there is no hate for Kyle Larson. There is only proof that Kyle Larson cannot get it done on track. And I know you want to believe, I know you do. And the one time that it happens, then so be it. We'll all, say that it was wrong, but it's just been right. And you cannot dispute it. Like, your best intentions are great and we'll back them. And I'm going to cheer for you every single time. I don't ever want a driver to not finish well. Like, that's not my goal in life, is to say, well, I hope this driver crashes. I'll never say that. But what I will say is, look, this guy always does. So at some point you have to believe the facts in front of you and not what you're hoping for the outcome to be. Even I get caught up in it sometimes too, but not about Kyle Larson on super speedways.
Yeah. Again, I don't want to hate on the guy. I mean, look, he's half the odds of anyone else to win this race this coming Sunday, and that's how good he is. It's going to be hard to bet on him still because his numbers are so good. He's probably going to spank the field. He's probably going to win 8 races this season, but it's just the matter of the fact is he's not that great on super speedways. Could he win one eventually? Sure. Of course he can. Anybody can get into it. And he's been solid on them, but he just more times than he doesn't. He finds his way in a wreck. He finds his way to the back. You cash these head-to-heads. It's tried and true, and we continue to just hammer on it every time. I'll give everyone a break now. There's not going to be any Kyle Larson hate for a few weeks. Probably not going to be betting on Corey LaJoie for a while now. So if you're new to the show, don't worry. We'll have other things for you as we go to Las Vegas this week. But hey, look, some things you just got to keep hitting on because it works. And this works. It works every time, just about. And really, that's all you can ask for.
Matt Jones asking Bubba. No, Bubba is not. Kyle Busch is. It's Kyle Busch, William Byron, Austin Cindric. Bubba Wallace, though, in 4th place.
He's the only driver that's got 2 top 5s, is what I saw from the 2 races. Because I believe he finished 5th in both races. So he's 4th in the standings. And only 3 points out. But yeah, it's Kyle Busch, William Byron. Obviously, Byron and Suarez have got those wins where that would put them on the top of the playoff board for now.
Locks them into the playoffs. Not locked in the playoffs.
Hey, you know who is locked into the playoffs, Rod? Austin Hill, because he's got 2 wins. See, that's how that works.
There you go. That's how that works. Eric Jones and John Hunter Nemechek, I had them both as top 10 cars. Neither one of them did. Poor Eric Jones had a really bad day. Like, that was not even close. And then John Hunter Nemechek, not a good day either. Started 34th, finished 21st. Eric Jones didn't even, sniff.
Well, he was caught up in that lap too, wasn't he?
He was, yeah. It was, yeah. Well, yeah. It was that first wreck of
half the field was, I guess, but
yeah. Well, yeah, because everybody behind the front of the pack got caught up in it. So, yeah, he was part of that, and then so was John Hunter for that matter too. So neither one of these guys had a shot at finishing inside the top 10. Even afterwards, their cars were damaged to the point where they couldn't get it done. So that was just an unfortunate early rip up of the ticket for me.
Yeah, I had Alex Bowman top 5 at 320, top Chevy at plus 900. He got caught up. I don't think he was that first wreck, but he was pretty early. He was caught up in one and suffered some damage. He did end up finishing the race, but I mean, really was not competitive at any point after he did get the damage. So I feel like you really didn't get a fair shake on seeing how this one kind of would have panned out. So just a little bit unfortunate. Speaking of not getting fair shakes, Rod.
So listen, I essentially don't even want to go over this one because I'm still salty over this one. I had Hamlin and Busch both to finish inside of the top 10 at plus 650. Hamlin, what the hell, man? This was cashing. This was cashing. Denny was cashing
Hamlin,
way late in the race. Denny Hamlin just could not. Then he got shoved up out of the way and just fell back and just
3 for 3. He wrecked in all 3 stages.
So pissed off. And still managed to get up again into the front. Like, I'm so mad.
I don't want to get off on a Kyle Larson tangent again, but if he's going to win, it's going to be on Atlanta. People keep saying that, and I've heard that over and over and over. Can somebody explain that to me? I've got 5 numbers I want to give you here. 30, 13, 31, 36, and 32. Why would he finish? Why would that be the one he wins on? He fucking sucks there. He's got 4 finishes worse than 30th. I don't understand.
He had fun.
He had fun. That's great. Good. I don't. Why he's got an advantage there when it's his worst track of all of them? I know, blows my mind. But anyways, I was right on this next one, Rod. I jumped on the Daniel Suarez train. I probably should have took this train a little farther than I did.
The car lift should have been on under the 99 instead.
I went the safe route, took him top 10 at plus 160. First place is in the top 10. Man, I wish I had more on Suarez because really all the numbers pointed to he's been really good here. Just one of those guys that's hard to believe in, right? And I was not believing in him. I'm pretty sure that I bet his under half a win, and I can already throw that ticket in the trash. But that's how it goes, right? And it happens. But yeah, the numbers showed that he was going to be good here. I figured he'd be in the top 10. I really didn't think he would win the race. Obviously, he does. So did catch this one, so that was nice.
I got to go back and listen to what I said because I don't remember if I actually.
I'm pretty sure you were on the over on it.
I think I did
because I think I don't remember what the number was even at. I might not have said it because of the number, but I know it was half a win, but it might have been really juiced, like heavily on the minus odds for under. But yeah, I again, if he's likely, what I would have said is if it was going to happen, it was going to be at a super speedway. But that's how it goes.
Speaking of how it goes, I had Ross Chastain as a top 3 car. If this would have been if at the end of stage 1, if we'd have cut the race then, this would have cashed. Chastain ends up finishing 7th in this race. After starting 21st, look, man, I'm not going to even back down off of this one. This one probably should have cashed. Chastain had a lightning fast car. His teammate won the damn race. Like, these guys, they're not to be ignored.
He was in the mix the entire race, so not a bad bet, I think, by any means, and he ended up being pretty close. So I don't think that it was a bad bet to make. I had John Hunter Nemechek to be the top finishing Toyota. Again, just kind of going back to this 15-1. The number was just too high. He ends up being the 4th Toyota on the board, but he ends up in 21st place. You get one more late wreck, and those 3 Toyotas are in it. He easily can cash this for you. It's just placing that bet isn't necessarily a vote of confidence, and I think John Hunter's going to be great. It's simply the numbers do not make sense for this small of a group to have one driver way back at 15-1 when he's not that bad, coming off a good finish at Daytona. So it doesn't cash, but again, going back to just purely looking at the numbers, I think it makes sense. We saw it in Xfinity, right? I mean, Jeff Earnhardt came real close to cashing a very similar type of bet. So you just got to continue to hit on those because you will hit them, and we have hit them in the past. So you're not going to hit it every time, but I think it's a bet worth making. if they've got, basically a small group and one or two drivers are just way overpriced for where they should be.
Indeed. Well, my only hit of the day was the Chevy winning car at plus 155. I said it was going to happen. It's happened at this racetrack so many times.
Yeah.
That,
two of the three at the line there were Chevrolets. So
yep.
You nailed it.
I had a, what is it? 2/3 of a 0.75% chance of that happening. So 75% chance of it happening. And I'm glad it did. So
is 2/3, 75%.
I don't know. Math sucks, dude. Whatever. 2/3
closer to 66, but I mean, he won. So it doesn't really matter what the math was, but
66. There you go. Fine. Good job. You passed basic math and I was cutting that day.
Corey LaJoy, I had the car lift. I actually didn't cash any of these, which is unfortunate, obviously. But he was right there. I mean, you look at that wreck with Kyle Larson late, and LaJoy was right there behind him. Kind of had nowhere to go. Got in that. Didn't get too bad of damage, but set him back a little bit. Kind of lost the track position. So a little unfortunate there. But he ends up in 13th. So still, he had a good day. Was close to at least cashing the top 10 for us. Sucks to miss out on that. Obviously, he made up for that last week at Daytona. Again, the Corey LaJoy picture. It's right here, Rod. It's safe. I'm going to set it over here. Probably not going to touch it until we get to Talladega again, most likely. Well, maybe on the DFS show. It might come up on the DFS show. I won't do it this week, but there might be a DFS show or two before Talladega. But probably not going to bet on him again till Talladega. So, Chris, you're safe. The Larson hate's gone. The LaJoy love is gone. So you're welcome to come back to the podcast now.
Hey, and normally we don't get back-to-back weeks of it. So like
that's what's
and you get a repeat.
Yeah, so if you are newer, again, we've had a lot of new people check us out and stuff. It's not the same thing every week, even though, we've never had really, there's only been, 2 super speedways in the past, 4 races. And now we've got 3 with 6 races. They put them back to back early on us. But it's much more spread out from now on. So it'll be less of the same stuff.
Indeed. JDK checking in saying 66. Yes, thank you very much.
Even in Canadian math, 66. Look at that. Actually, I think it's like 66.
Conversion rate on that one.
66.3333.
Something like that.
Never ends, but whatever.
All right. For my winners, I had Bell and Logano. Both cars were fast. Both cars had bad luck. So I'm not even going to talk about it. Logano, oh my God.
Bell was early too. Bell was out of the race.
Oh, dude.
Early.
Bell got
he was in the lap too, wasn't he?
Well, no. He actually he had problems before that, I think. He
was in the lap 2 crash, and then I think he got off the damage clock, went to the garage. I think he came back and completed some laps, but I don't think he was so many laps down at that point, it didn't matter.
Yeah, actually, I'm sorry. He was part of that crash, that first crash, because he started in 22nd and just literally limped around the track pretty much the entire time. There were shots of like everybody zooming by, and there's that 20 car with his feet underneath and just trying to.
He had the Michael McDowell slushy from last week, and he was just driving around, hanging out. My winners, I had Chase Elliott. He got caught up early. He had damage on that lap 2 crash, but still was kind of in the mix throughout it. He was right behind. Chastain ended up dumping him at one point. They kind of got a little aggressive with the bump drafting. That really cost the shot. I don't think he probably would have won it based on how things were going early for him. Kyle Busch, 16-1, 0.000, or what was it? 0.2 zeros and a 7 seconds from winning the race, but he ends up in 3rd place. Just kind of how it goes. You can't ask for much more than that. I mean, on a super speedway, 16-1. So I felt good about that. Austin Dillon, 45-1. Dude might be more unlucky than Harrison Burton. So there's that. Then Rod, I decided, fuck it, right? We'll give out some poll bets. Poll bets were up. Just toss these 2 out. No big deal. Joey Logano, plus 50. Doesn't win the poll. Doesn't cash for you. He started on the front row. So there's that. He was cheating to get there, but that's irrelevant. And Michael McDowell, 30-1. Long shot. He was fast at Daytona. Probably not. Oh, Michael McDowell's on the fucking pole. Cash at 30-1. Let's go. What a fucking bet to hit that. That was to start the weekend too. Cup qualifying was that Saturday morning?
That was Saturday morning.
Saturday morning.
Yep.
Beautiful. God, it made too much sense. And a bunch of people throughout the community. I mean, Greg was on it. A bunch of the guys over Win the Race were on it. Love seeing everyone that hit it. It made no sense after how fast they had just been at Daytona. His first career pole, Rod, he's got 600 career Cup starts. First time he's ever sat on the pole. So But
And he's won races too. That's the thing.
Yeah,
Like,
he's won multiple races, and but the number didn't make any sense. That's what we're here for again. So that one wasn't nice to hit. It was beautiful. JDK wants us to never mention 83 in a positive manner again.
I don't think you have that worry.
It might be tough too for a while until we see some again. All right, Rod. Here is the exercise that I wanted to bring to the show. Okay, I've got this pen here. It's from Men in Black. It says Union Bank, but it's from Men in Black. This is going to wipe your memory. This way, wipe your memory. You're allowed to keep two things from these first 2 weeks of racing, Rod. The two you don't get to decide. I get to decide for you.
Okay.
The two things you're keeping. Nick Sanchez has a win in the bank. Daniel Suarez has a win in the bank. Absolutely nothing else matters. Your memory's wiped. It does not matter what anyone did the last 2 weeks. Completely throw it out. I don't care how good Front Row looked. I don't care how good Raja Carruth looked. I don't care about anything else. Daniel Suarez having won a race. When we get to somewhere like Coda, I've got him circled there already. I'm hoping we get a good number. He can gamble. He can take a big swing. That is what will matter. Nick Sanchez has got a win in the bank. That could matter down the road where they've got that chance to gamble. I didn't lump Austin Hill in there because, he's the only one that's truly locked into the playoffs, but he's just Austin Hill. That doesn't really matter anyways. But don't even take into account that he just won 2 races because it doesn't matter. The difference on the super speedways and how these cars look, how they race, it does not matter in any way, shape, or form starting at Las Vegas this week. Seriously, just completely put it away from your mind. Don't even think about it. The two things you need to remember, Suarez has a win and he can gamble. Sanchez has a win and he can gamble. Nothing else. Just get rid of it. Because it just, there's nothing that translates and it doesn't matter. Points a little bit you can look at because there's going to be some guys, Keselowski guys in the hole early. You're going to have some stuff to look at, but otherwise, nothing else translates. Matt Jones got 40-1. I know a few people got 40-1 on McDowell too, by the way, which shout out to you. And they hit, it was a bunch of people in the Discord that hit McDowell stage 1. So shout out to you as well. But yes, anyways, just delete it all from your memory, Rod, because it doesn't matter.
Look, and honestly, you should know right from when Larry Mack was showing us that the way the spoiler puts the air, just disturbs the air behind the cars on a normal 1.5 miles versus a super speedway. You could tell that the characteristics of these cars are going to change next week in Las Vegas. So definitely,
and we're not going to be drafting. It's not going to be the pack racing. It's not. It just, guys like Corey LaJoie, as much as I love him, have a chance to win at Atlanta. He doesn't have a chance to win at Las Vegas. If he goes out and wins at Las Vegas, they need to see if that's a Hendrick. It's all. We saw.
I got to check his gloves.
We saw some crazy shit this last weekend, so I don't want to rule it out, but it's almost impossible for that to happen. So it's just, and BJ McLeod, look at how good he looked in the duel, right? Even in the Xfinity, but in the duels last week, he was top 3. He just raced to the field, looked great. You're not going to see that from the 78 car on a week-to-week basis. Like, it's just those things don't translate at all. Front row, Todd Gilliland led a bunch of laps. If Todd Gilliland leads a lap at Las Vegas, it's on a pit strategy. He's not just going to be in the front of the field. It doesn't work that way. So erase it all from your memory, throw it out. The real true season starts right now, today, at Las Vegas.
Indeed. And we will start tomorrow with those odds because they're out. So we'll have them and we'll have a full pick show for you for Las Vegas. And of course, we'll have the DFS, we'll have Underdog, we'll have Xfinity, we'll have, I believe we have all 3 series in action this weekend. So again, a full slate.
And Rod will be there for at least some of the races, if not all of them.
Probably just the Cup race. My schedule has been shrunk down, and I will be driving 7.5 hours to get there. So this will be a lot of fun. Just follow me on my journey on X as I tweet while I drive. Just kidding. I'm not going to do it. You guys all screaming at
Don't
me.
tweet and drive. One more thing too. I think, are we still going right after this show? Pretty much immediately.
Yeah, we should. Why not? Let's do it.
Yeah, maybe a little short break, but tune back in. So we're gonna have a live episode of the F1 Gambling Podcast. F1 starts this weekend in Bahrain. So we've got a full sheet of bets to give you out for that. So we'll be back live right here on the NASCAR Gambling Podcast channel as soon as we sign off here, basically.
Yeah. So then let's do that because I need a little snacky snack and I need to take a little drink and a little tinkle and then I'll be back.
Rod's got to get the makeup touched up.
Got to get the
You
makeup.
should see it's like a pit stop when he gets done. His chair pulls back. His wife runs in with the brush, touches him up, pushes him back forward, and then he hits go live. So it's great.
The microphone real quick just to make sure all the germs are gone.
His daughter hands him a Gatorade. It's great.
All over myself. That's what pits. Yeah, that's what it looks like between takes. I love it. All right. Well then, Cody, as we say goodbye to Atlanta, unfortunately, in some cases, thankfully, in others, we'll look forward to Las Vegas. And why don't you let everybody know where they can find you on social media in the short time that it's going to take for us to jump back on for the F1 Gambling Podcast.
Yeah, go follow me on the X at @Husker_Zeeb. You can find all my work over there. Again, if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, do it. Jump in. We had some new names, new faces. We can't even keep up with the chat today, which is great. That's how we love it. The Discord's been hopping. It's great. Get in the Discord during a race. That will keep you busy. You have a hard time paying attention to the race because you're trying to keep up with the chat. It's great. Follow us on Facebook, all the fun stuff. See you in a few minutes for F1 Gambling Podcast. And then all 3 series. We got pick shows for all of them again for Vegas this week. So stay tuned. This is going to be a fun week to play some real live actual bets on the race.
Indeed. It has been such a fantastic start to the season, you guys. This is invigorating. I mean, not to say that the last 2 seasons weren't, but you got to understand the new energy that a lot of you guys are bringing into it. And then the energy that's making all of the other folks that have been around for a while bring it. It's just, you guys, this is fantastic. Thanks for coming along for the ride. Stick with us through Vegas and beyond. Follow me on X at RJ Villagomez. Link in the bot, everything I got going on, whether it's here, Sportsbook Review. I've got some F1 stuff coming out for them as well. And then, of course, in between media, check out the Back Road. Not my week this week, but Seth and Elliot will have it for you, holding down there on the In Between Media YouTube. We'll see you tomorrow if you're a NASCAR listener, and then we'll see you in a few minutes if you are an F1 fan. And if you're not, look, go check it out. Yeah, you should be both.
Hey, even if you've been in the Discord, you've seen all the new people checking out NASCAR. Check out F1. Telling you, it's gonna be fun. It's worth it. You get a bet on it. You get the sweat. 9 a.m. race this week, Rod, on a Saturday morning. For me, 9 a.m. You wake up, drink your coffee, cash some F1 bets. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that.
It does not. Bravo Sierra 89 saying great show as usual. Thank you very much. We'll see all you guys later. Until then, let's go racing and let it ride.
Until missing attention.